Since
Eddie,
nobody
that
had anything to
poster,
say.
Eddie, that poster you made sure came out well.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
sure
did.
it did. Really did. But I like what my daughter Scoop did for me. That was a really nice project. I sent her a rough drawing, and she looked at it and said, So I said, all right, she's the artist. I said, okay. And I had 1,000 of those stickers to give away. And just looking forward to seeing all these people. I mean, it's amazing how many folks they'll see that they'll be there and want to chat. And it's the it's important to me that it's all these people from other clubs that are now realizing what we are, what we're doing, and what it's taking. But then I'm hearing from folks about, they're asking some questions, and when I answer back that there are no politics, there isn't a board of directors, there isn't a team of people that you have to get something cleared through, and you have to pay homage to certain groups and things like that. We don't have that. One guy the other said, "Who's your lead professional?" We don't have one. What do you mean? You have to line up with some groups. Well, we didn't. We just found all kinds of really good turners, and they're all our friends. So we're all a bunch of friends together. I can't say I got a better friend with one, not a better friend with the other. Um, I look at all the gizmos, gadgets, ideas, the techniques we get, and we run with the big dogs. We really do. And then I get to look at somebody sent a copy of the Big Clubs magazine the other day. They want us $50 a year subscription, and I didn't see anything in it that we don't have, or a technique that we haven't exposed or shown or have a link to. And then you get people that don't believe it's all every day, all day on the website. A guy called me the other day. He said, "Y'all talked about such and such. How do I get a copy now?" On the website? You know, so we're kind of going down the road where we started 5 years ago. And it feels so good to do that. It really does. Because I'm proud to say I got some friends like Matt and Jim, Paul, and England, and all these other great turners. I can call them by their first name and talk to them and know that it's it's all out there and it's available. All I gotta do is say, hey, and we're in contact. So, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. We're all in contact. So, look, who's popped up on the screen there? Someone is live and direct with us in a red shirt. Hello? Hello? That's you.
Me?
That was you.
That was
That me? I'm
this
doing
guy.
red shirt.
That's you.
That guy?
From Red Deer, Alberta?
Yep, that's
Yeah,
me.
we didn't have anybody on Spotlight, Eddie, so anybody who speaks would pop up. So,
okay. Is that what happened? All right.
Yep.
All right. That's okay. Red Deer, Alberta. That's all right, sir. Welcome. Good evening.
I'll zip it.
Oh no!
You can always mute yourself too, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That would be the smart thing to do, just mute if you're not going to be talking.
Yeah, because I'm eating and I eat loudly, so I'll be popping up all the time if I don't mute myself.
Right.
That's funny, Dane. $350.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, they keep making little minor adjustments to Zoom, and they keep tweaking the program. And of course, the way it's used by so many people, for so many things, it's hard to keep up with. And even if you download the latest, some of it's still running on the oldest. I upgraded my computers the other day to all the latest programs for 5 or 6 things I do, and it took all evening long to reboot them all because everybody's security is changing again, and I'm kind of glad it is changing. As the other day, they sent me something from my insurance company that we will vandalize. We need to go in and change our passwords and stuff, and it gave me a link to it. Guess what? That was a scam.
Yep.
That wasn't from my insurance company. I didn't have to go change my password. But I realized I'd never used the password to talk to those folks. Or give them a number or a code or anything else. So beware what you get asked for on the internet. Sometimes it's what's your mom's grandma's name. And my wife hired a technical guy to do some work for our computer network in the house. And he put my medical history up on the screen. I said, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, I can download that from such and such." How do you? I thought because of the, you can't do that. Oh yeah, you go to this and the insurance companies all share that information. That ain't good, you know. So just beware. And that's why we don't have a big membership questionnaire and criteria and all. And people say, "Well, how do you know who your members are?" They're here. But if you want to know more about who our members are, you want to be on the list, it's pretty simple. You see there's a chat thing on the line, right? There's a little chat button. If you go to the chat button and you type into the chat your name and the information you wish to share with the rest of the membership, and it can be your name, your address, your phone number, where you're from, what you like to do, things like just general information. No detail, no specifics, nothing I can go rent a car or truck with. Okay, just put that in there and say for members list. Now our website manager, Dave Rose, he takes that off of our chat and puts it in members list before he publishes the chat on our general publish of the chat list. Now, if you want to copy the list, what address do they send the request to? Okay.
Do what?
Sorry, I had to find a
What list do they send? They want a copy of the members list. What address do they send a request to?
they can send it to the
Webmaster.
webmaster.
Or they can send it
Webmaster.
to Dane. Webmaster at worldwidewoodturners.org or to Mr. Dane at dfa@gmail.
Okay, that's where you send your request, and we do that, and that gets the human involved because you see that guy that just spoke a moment ago, not Dane, the other guy.
Yeah.
He's human.
The ugly one.
He's our webmaster. Yeah. And a human looks at it so we know a robot doesn't ask for that list or a scammer or. And we keep it member to member to member. And then you get that list and you save it. And then when you need to talk to somebody, you look on the list and boom, there he is. And if you're like me, you'll probably misplace the list. But I've got mine when I need to ask somebody a question. I pop to my list and say, "Oh, there it is. I got Brendan's number. I can call Brendan. Let's go. I can call Matt. I can call this and call that guy." And that's how we do it. And it keeps it wood turner to wood turner. And there's not a club roster or anything like that where I want to talk to everybody from such and such. This is us to us. I like it that way. Oh, this week we did not publish a newsletter for this week. But I did hear from JJ that it's light on topic right now. JJ's our newsletter editor, and Joaquin does an awesome job of it and publishes a world-class newsletter every other week. And I'm talking world-class. This is something that some people, some clubs envy to have or even get close to. But we do it every other week. And it's all developed on stuff that you submit to us for that newsletter. So you do something. I've seen some new members turn in some really beautiful work and put it on our Facebook pages and all. Hey, that's okay. But JJ is kind of particular. You see, he doesn't want a bad image to come in for your good work. If he takes it off of Facebook, it's not a good image. It won't take it. So he's particular. And I don't like this because I don't want trash him. A bad picture making your work not look good. So take a good photograph and send it to us. And you send that to editor@worldwidewoodturners.org. Pretty good. Editor @worldwidewoodturners.org. And then you'll be included in the newsletter. But say you developed a project. You did a little something, you get a layout for a particular project or a box or a rack or a gizmo or a gadget or a cage or whatever. And you designed it and you think it's really cool and we should all share in it, which we do. Then what you do is you sketch it out and send that sketch to editor@worldwidewoodturners.org. And then we can use that in our newsletter. And JJ picks through the information he gets, selects what we can use at that time, and it gets published. And now if we get way too much stuff, he'll put in more pages. That's the beauty of it. We don't go to less pages. We go to more pages. And we don't cut it off because, we hit our limit. That doesn't happen. So it's all based upon what you turn in to what is looking to be the world's greatest newsletter for woodturners. It goes right along with the world's greatest website. How can we beat this thing? So I like it. I like to print them out and bring them and drop them off the place and just watch people go, oh, wow, look at this. Say what?
Kim Tippin is back to making videos in her new shop. So we got to be careful if anybody says scrap wood. I hope she signed in tonight.
Did she sign in?
No.
I haven't seen her, but
I hadn't either. I sent her a note the other day, welcome her, and tell her we waiting for her. I'm glad she got all that hassle with her house and got a workshop back up and all. She's a nice lady. She was one of our earliest members.
She's a scam.
She's the one that would.
She's been making salt cellars.
She would jump in real quick if you said scrap wood. I mean, I love it. Don't you refer to that as scrap wood? That's incomplete wood turning projects.
Future project wood. I don't have any scrap wood.
No.
As
Does
Bob
anybody?
Moffat, as Birdhouse Bob would say, pieces of wood waiting for their artistic impression to come about.
Yes, that would be it. I'd like to see Bob back. He lost his theorist, and
Yeah.
he took a little hiatus. He's the master of embellishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey Eddie, it's the top of the hour. Is there any events that you want to discuss? Have you heard of anything coming up?
Yeah, we have about 700 plus days left before we go to Level Up. That's coming up September 2026. And we're going to be in Wisconsin with the Level Up, and that's going to be the first hands-on workshop or one of the first hands-on workshops. You see how I put that out there? One of the upcoming hands-on workshops for worldwidewoodturners.org. It's shaping up good. Getting a lot of interest. A lot of folks want to know what this is and why we went there and what's going to go on and all. And I'm telling them that there's a G8 committee. Isn't it? We call it the G8 committee?
G8, the grade 8.
The G8, the grade 8 committee. And that is 8 key members. And these were all just members that said, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help. They did it 8 times. That's why we have 8 members. And these folks are putting this program together. And we're basing it upon nothing. You know what we're basing it upon? We're basing it upon what we would like to see at a seminar, at a workshop, or at a gathering, or at a gang of guys out having a good time talking about wood turning. That's what we're basing it upon. Now, if you take what we do each week, and you take that and you put people in it, and you put a dozen lathes or more, and you have all this wood, all these tools, all this art, all this gallery. I know there's going to be giveaways and handouts, prizes and raffles and competition, all kinds of things. I mean, can you imagine how this is going to be when you get all of us in one place at one time? Yes, that's what's going to happen. And I said it earlier, and I mean it, it's the first of. Because, trust me, folks, you're going to keep thinking, and you're going to come up with it. You came up with this. You expanded this program from 1 hour to 4 hours or more. We went from simple meetings to complex meetings. We have demonstrations every single week. We have tips and hints, projects that, well, we had another one coming up in October, tips and hints, tips and tricks, where we go to your shop, look at what you have and what you've come up with. And nothing's sacred. Just, we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to be risky. And safety is a big piece. So that's what we have coming up. Me, this week I'm heading to SWAT. I'll be there. My wife and I leave tomorrow morning. SWAT is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Waco, Texas. I've always used the expression, and I've been going there for over 20 years. I always use the expression, SWAT is like a family reunion with family you really do love. And that's how I feel about it. I see same guys, the same friends, the same turners, the same vendors. I see a lot of wood, a lot of tools, a lot of ideas. It is more cordial than any other symposium I've ever been to. It's, I don't want to say loose, but it's friendly. They have awesome gallery. You will see some fantastic art, and you will get to talk one-on-one with instructors and demonstrators and professionals. And that's what we are going to do at Level Up. You're going to be able to not just see them, talk with them, interact with them, turn with them, work with them, have them work with you. When a guy says, hold your tool like this, we're working on a project where they can actually walk up to you and put that tool in your hand and let you use that tool to see what's happening. Because I can tell you all day long to throw it like this. But if I don't actually put the ball in your hand and show you how to throw it, it won't work. So that's SWAT's this weekend. Level Up is coming up in 2 years. And to me, I got to keep shoving and plugging because I'm all ready for it. So y'all get ready. If you've got an event coming up, remember, Worldwide Woodturners has got a fantastic website. WorldwideWoodturners.org. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes. We have an event calendar on there. And that event calendar is open to everybody, anywhere, for any event dealing with wood turning. Remember, you get this. Everybody, everywhere, everything dealing with wood turning, no matter what. If it's a rarity, whatever, it can go in on our website, event calendar. All of it. No restrictions. Yay.
Hey, Captain. Talking about Level Up. Now, for people that might be traveling with their wives, what is? I mean, what all else is there to do? I mean, I don't want her to be as bored as I'm sure she might be after a little while. Yeah, but let's talk about that later on. Within the next couple meetings or so.
Well,
Yeah,
we
well,
all
and,
have
you
to
know,
we all have to eat, Al. So one of the things that's happened in these sorts of events in the past is the people who are not actually turning sometimes bring dishes to pass, which is a
No, I'm
Midwestern
talking
tradition.
about not. I'm talking about not going to the event at all, but traveling with me.
I understand.
So listen,
My wife is.
listen, folks. So Scott's not on right now, and he's the man to answer that question. But I
Right,
do know
right.
that it's a huge quilting area, and there's several large quilting shops. And then, of course, it is Wisconsin, and they got several large cheese factories there that are, the tourist thing to do, along with other touristic items to do. But Scott's not on right now, so that's a question for him. And
Right,
Scott will
right,
be putting
exactly.
together a list of stuff like that. Restaurants, lodging. In fact, I was just getting ready to type out a thing on lodging, but I'll just go ahead and say it now. So lodging facilities, it has all the typical hotel chains that are found in any other metropolitan, your Fairfield Inns, your Holiday Inn Expresses, your Comfort Inn suites. And the beauty of it is up there, instead of paying $275 for a night, as in what I'm used to paying when I'm driving across country from Tucson to Southern Ohio, the lodging up there is anywhere between $70 and $110 a night. So
I was just speaking about activities.
well, like I said, I know there's banquets or quilting stuff, but again, we need that's something for Scott to answer, and Scott's not on, so I'm just touching on it, at the top level, and it kind of ends the overall conversation on it.
Exactly.
One of the other suggestions I might suggest is that there will be off lathe classes as well as on lathe classes, I believe.
Right.
Isn't that right, Dane? So
Yes,
there will probably be a class on dot painting, for instance, and a class on wood carving, and possibly a class on wood burning, and maybe there'll be an airbrush class.
And right. So we have a whole venue set up for what we plan on doing, as Level Up, as in planning events for spouses. That's really not something that we're doing.
No, but Scott,
Al,
I asked Scott a similar question a month or so ago, and he said there are antique shops in the area.
Right.
There are there's other things of that nature all over the place up there that our wives that aren't really into the wood turning thing might enjoy doing. So I'm not too worried about it.
Right.
Dane, the one thing that I like the idea of having like a host hotel is so that, let's say that our wives are quilters, they can get together in the lobby and go, or
Sure.
as the Turners, we could get together. You guys probably don't do that down in the States, but here in Canada, we have a beer at the end of the day. So, we could get together.
We have all that lined up.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got it.
Okay.
Once SWAT is over, and then so I've got a planning committee,
Okay.
and then so I'm going to be getting them together, and so that they have the full format of what the G8 has came up with, because what we're doing with this event is something that's never been done here in North America, and it's never been done over in Europe. And we're taking a meddling of things that work on both sides, and we're putting them together, and we're making it a unique event for us. And guaranteed, it will be emulated by others after we pull this off. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be affordable to be able to attend, which is going to be something that's non-existent anywhere. So I understand, there's lots of excitement. We do have a email set up for the event now, levelup@worldwidewoodturners.org, and I'll put that in the chat several times here tonight. Feel free to email, send me emails on what you'd like to see, any information that that I can divulge at this time. I'll be more than happy to to further explain stuff that we've already released. It's like I said, we're all excited about it. Those that have been involved with it so far, and then there's others that's had some ad hoc conversation with various ones of us, and kind of have an inkling of what's going on, and they're excited about it. Matt, he can barely keep his pants on and stay in his seat there. He's so tickled about it.
Why aren't we doing it this month instead of 2 years from now?
Because we're making it because it's going to be super affordable. This gives everybody plenty of time to make sure that they will be able to attend, because there's a group of people that are not able to attend events because they're so damn expensive. And this is going to be spectacular for us. And I have a feeling I may wind up having to tell people, no, you'll have to wait till the next event.
Well, Dane,
I got a feeling we're going to have so many.
Like someone just posted, why is it 2 years instead of 1 year?
I just explained it. So you've got enough money. So you got time to save your money.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of people that are on fixed budgets.
And part of it is the venue was booked for next year also. So in order to get the venue we wanted, we had to move it ahead. So that was part of it too. Yeah, I'm stoked that people are coming from overseas too.
And the people that are coming from overseas, they have to have time to work out arrangements and save up money for transportation and stuff like that too.
Yep. And at the same time, we want to try and, it's this center area of that. But, for the ones that are coming from Europe, I want to make it advantageous for them to come, not only for us, but I want them to be able to have the opportunity to go to area clubs. They can define what that area is, 200-mile radius, 500-mile radius, and be able to go and demonstrate at an area club and make a little bit of coin to offset their trip coming over, because they're the ones that they're really going to be spending a little bit of money just to come over and hang out with us. It's
right.
Pretty cool.
Gives everybody plenty of time to plan.
I look at it as, if you're going to make a trip, travel down the road, you go when it's muddy or you go when it's paved. We're going to go down this road when it's paved. If we go too early, it's going to be muddy and ruddy. And we're not going to be too sure. So we're going to get the road down, have it compacted, pave it, and get there with all the curbs and everything else put in, so we know where we're going, and it's nice and protected, and we have all the things figured out, and we have enough sources and plans to do it. We don't want to get there and say, oh my God, we didn't think about that. Because we got these people who are thinking about every single step. I don't want to hurry into this. This is not a thing where we got to do it for a namesake. We got to do it for this. We have to do it for the almighty dollar. We don't have to do any of that for any of those reasons. We're doing this for what I go back to every single time we talk, the love of woodturning and our friendship. And if we keep all that in mind, we'll make this work. And if you're worried about activities for the wives, we will find the local, and I don't know what they're called in certain areas, but there are groups of people who work on how to develop tourism activities for people coming into town. Welcome wagons, social events. They have fairs and festivals and things like that. And we'll research those things in those areas. When you tell those towns around there, we're bringing people in that are looking for a place to go to do things, they will say, "Ooh, wait, more tourists are coming out? Let us tell you about such and such." And when I worked in heavy media with WWL Radio in 20 years, I would get tons of those invites each week from community areas, fairs and things. Some place I never knew had activities saying, "Hey, look, you know what we got going on?" And a lot of it was interesting. So we will pursue chasing those down and getting in the package. Can we organize it? Probably not. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to make you aware of it and have an idea like that. And if we need a central location for pooling, we need to find a spot. Say, hey, if y'all want to all do this together, this is where y'all all gather. You know, but give us a little time and give us your input. Input like this needs to come to level up at worldwidewitchturners.org. Any input you have, suggestions, ideas, whatever you have. Remember, this is your wood turning club. Remember that? Put it in a notation. Level up at worldwidewitchturners.org. I don't think you have that opportunity anywhere else in the world on a symposium or program like this. We're doing this on the same basis we do everything else. It's up to the membership. That's what gets me worked up. And Matt, if you want to know why the hell we ain't doing it next month, you won't believe. I went to my doctor yesterday. I love this lady. She's really amazing. And I said, "Hey, I gotta go to Wisconsin for a thing in September 26th." She said, "Uh-huh. Am I gonna make it?" She said, "Uh-huh. All you gotta do is pay attention to the rules." The rules. I didn't know there's rules.
Right?
Yeah. I'm gonna pay attention to the rules. At least I'm gonna tell them. But yeah, I got a double thumbs up on her to get out this week. She was so pumped up when I was telling just what's going to go on going to Wisconsin. She said, "Are you going to handle going to Wisconsin?" "Sure, I can." She said, "Really? You're going to be going hands-on with all those people?" "Yeah." And turning and all that? "Yeah, doing all that." And that's what this is. You see, little bio here. They took a chunk of the brain out 10 years ago. That was when I had the tumor. And I lost a lot of things. I've been on some serious turning around drugs for this. And right now, today, I can remember phone numbers I had 40 years ago. Job site numbers and codes. And now, what's they going at? 8 years ago when I got out of rehab, I could remember the names of my children. So things have been flipping around. And this is part of my healing. Being able to go tomorrow to wake up and interact with you people, you turners, and talk with you and be with you in turn and be around turning and things like that. You're part of my redevelopment, and I'm not alone. You're with me too. Many of y'all are having some problems like that in your life, and this is part of your relief and sort of your rebuild. So let us help you by you helping us. And that's my soapbox. We're together, aren't we? That's all I can say. We're together.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's getting
All
to
right.
the hour, and we've been talking.
Yeah.
I've been talking, running my mouth off. I think we got some gallery probably lined up, don't we?
Yeah, we got a few gallery to hop into before we get to our main event for the evening.
Who's handling that tonight?
God, that wild man up in Tucson.
He ain't
my.
wild. He ain't Tucson.
Does this mean I'm first?
We'll
Billy,
we'll keep
Billy,
the suspense on the demo.
Billy, bring some of that
I-
shrink wrap with you tomorrow night for dinner. I'm gonna eat at that place. I'll be having dinner with you tomorrow night.
Why do we need shrink wrap?
Well, I'm going to get on my clothes just like you're going to get on your clothes.
Oh! I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that.
Saran wrap, whatever.
Yeah. Just peel and stick or whatever it
Pallet
is.
wrap.
I'm going to have on a new
it's-
shirt. Billy,
I know what he's talking about. I made a short video on it here a while back. It's kind of funny.
So what you got to show? What you got to show? What you got to show us?
Well,
tonight, Billy?
first off, the first one is a non-turning project.
That's a
I
great
made
one
this-
there.
I made this little plaque for sitting on one of the tables at SWAT. I've still got gems from last year. We'll put on another table because Cat Medi said he wanted us to reserve 2 tables. So as soon as I get there, I'm going to go in the dining room and I'm going to put 2 of these on tables, or this one and the other one on a table. So we're ready for that. And in case anybody decides to walk off with it, I put my name on it. I showed this thing a few weeks ago once I got it finished. It was a recovery project, but I hadn't, at the time I showed it, I hadn't had a chance to buff it out. And it's now buffed out. And boy, does it shine.
It's
what's the
incredible.
finish on it, Billy?
I mean, you can mirror finish. You can see my computer screen in the bowl. It's just absolutely gorgeous. This piece of live oak was just too pretty to throw away and
So-
too pretty
so
to
how
waste.
did-
That's
how did
why
you
I
finish
wasted
it?
the resin in it. How did I
How
what?
did you finish it? How did you finish it?
Okay, it's finished with 4 coats of Deft gloss lacquer, and I buffed it out with Axe abrasive paste, and followed that up with 1 coat, just one, of Axe polish and restoring paste, and I applied the paste and I rubbed it in and I let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then I went back and I buffed it out, and that's how it came out.
Gorgeous.
So I'm really happy with this.
Very
It's
nice.
I was happy with it. I was happy with it before, but I'm really happy with it now.
Oh, that's gorgeous shine.
Did you buff that by hand or with the Beal system?
No, I actually buffed it on the lathe. I held it with a vacuum chuck inside and out. I buffed the outside first. Like I said, I chucked it up with my vacuum chuck, and I put the abrasive paste on by hand with a cloth. With a paper towel, and then I took one of my an old sanding mandrel, and put it in my drill, and I have several pieces or layers of cotton fabric wrapped around it, and then I've got it with a zip tie. I've got it zip tied onto the shaft, so I can tuck it up in my drill, and I can spin it while this is spinning on the lathe. And man, it buffed it up like you can't believe. So I'm probably going to be using that method more because I really like how that came out. And then I finished this little piece up a few days ago. This is a Lebanon cedar box. The grain lines up pretty nice.
I like that.
Again,
watched
logo
that.
in the bottom. And I had to chuck it back up. I had to chuck it back up to do something on the inside. I needed to get some tear out. And the chuck jaws left some marks. So I took a Dremel and I accented those marks and then filled them with red acrylic paint. The finish on this is the inside. And the finish on this is actually nothing but 2 coats of a mixture of pure tongue oil and beeswax. And that's all it is. It's completely food safe. Not that anybody's going to put any food in this, but I've used this on my last couple of boxes. That pecan box I turned a few weeks ago, and I really like it. Not everything needs to shine. I didn't think this little box needed to shine. This little piece of cedar looks just fine the way it is. It is so soft. It's unbelievable. For those of you that are going to be at SWAT, pick this up and feel how soft it is. You're not going to believe it. I sanded it to 600 and just put 2 coats of that tongue oil and beeswax on it. Anyway, that's all I got.
Great stuff, Billy.
Thank you.
Right on, Billy. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
I like that. I like that shape a lot.
Thank you. I
Al,
do too.
turn
I
your
really
camera
do.
on, Al.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Billy, what did you put on there for the marks from the chuck jaws?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
I have acrylic paint pens, and I just
Okay.
put some red acrylic paint in there,
Oh, okay.
and then sanded everything back smooth again, and then put my finish on.
Okay. Yeah, I
I
couldn't hear.
saw that on Facebook, and I said I really like that. I like that shape.
I really like this shape too. I've been,
I like the way that top just pops everything.
and it's a nice friction fit. I mean, it's not. I don't know if you can hear it,
We could see it.
but it's nice.
Yeah, I saw that. I really like that. Anyway, guys, I have some questions also besides something to show. These rattle cans. How do you go? I mean, I've got so much stuff in here, but I can't get it out. Is there anything that I could do? Asking. Does anyone have any ideas?
Yes. There's a couple things you can soak the top of it in like a little bit of the solvent. So if it's poly, like mineral spirits, I think is the solvent for it.
It's a
Or, you know,
polyurethane. So if I
Yeah.
mineral spirits, probably okay then, right?
I honestly I don't remember. It's been a while since I used poly, so if somebody's
Maybe.
got better information.
I'll tell you.
I've tried to soak them in lacquer thinner to get them to break loose, and it don't work. I have not tried mineral spirits with poly.
Acetane also can sometimes work, and you can also replace those little things on the top too. But let's see what Dane has to say about it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So if I know I have everything in here, and there's a lot, so we know for a fact that we know that it's this. It's nothing from where it's on to down.
How do you know?
Yep.
So
No,
hold
that's
on.
my question.
Al,
That's
what,
not my question.
Al, what are you asking? How to unfreeze the nozzle, or how to get the rest of the contents out that won't spray out?
Yes, because it doesn't spray out anymore. It's all
Okay, so it's not frozen. On your
Use a toothpick. I wouldn't use acetone. Acetone's going to melt the plastic. Go ahead, Dane.
So on your little spray bottle, if you pull that cap off, there will be a red dot or a blue dot or a black dot. And that signifies where the hose goes down the side of the can. And so once you know where that,
well, I could pull that off
and
right
you
now.
can't,
I mean, I've got something different
right.
than what
Well,
you're standing
I understand that. So all spray cans typically have a little dot there, and it signifies where the tube goes down the side of the can to reach to the bottom. And then so you just hold it to that direction, and the float will always be there.
Only some cans have that red dot, though.
Hell, I can't
Well, like I
pull
said,
it off.
the majority of the, so your spray lubes, they all have one.
Oh, Man, I can't get it off.
Your wipe on polys will have, your rattle, that have a regular spray nozzle. They have them.
I've also taken a pin or a safety pin and picked that nozzle open.
Right. But his is not about it being, his nozzle's not clogged up. He wants to know how to get the bottom third of the can.
Well, I just got, this is a different can. I have two of them that has the same problem. This lid or top just came right off. So so there's no problem from there down. It's in here. I'm
not
assuming.
necessarily.
See, okay.
Not necessarily. I've had some that for one reason or another gunked up inside that spigot that the spray cap fits on top of. And I've got 4 or 5 cans in my cabinet in the shop that I've not been able to free up. So I've tried soaking and I know the lids are free because I can blow my compressed air hose through them and I can see it. So I know it's not the nozzle itself that's clogged. It's got to be inside the valve itself. It's just not letting the stuff out, and I don't know how to free that up.
Right. It's just a question. Just a question.
I always spray mine upside down, and that cleans them out. And
turn
them upside down to clean them out.
I do that on the ones that say to do it upside down. I've tried to do it on the others, and they just keep spraying. So I've quit doing that, but I do wipe them off when I get through now. I immediately wipe them down with either lacquer thinner or alcohol, and I've not had one freeze up on me since.
Yeah. Okay. That's Captain. Thanks a lot for Wednesday nights. Okay, next little thing I want to talk about. Remember a couple of weeks ago I showed it, and now someone said Tim Hatch, boil it in vinegar, and then someone said water, and then we all goofed around and said, well, we're going to do it in both. And I did it in both. And this was 90 degrees. Now, what Tim said, yes, that works a lot. This side here wasn't bending at all. It wasn't bending at all. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to just keep it in there a little bit longer. And I tried again. Maybe it's like to do this was 15 minutes. I let go 15 minutes, and it bent. I was able to do whatever I wanted with it. So I found this old pot. Now this old pot, I stuck it, let's say, in the pot. What? How could I do it? I stuck it in the pot, and it was at 90 degrees. And here, it boiled because I left it in there longer than the 15 minutes. My wife was sitting at the kitchen table, and I pulled it out, and this fell. I was holding it with a pair of pliers here and here, and I took it out of the water, and this piece just fell right on the ground. I just got greedy, I guess. I left it in there too long, and as soon as I picked up, it was so rubbery. I think that was a term that was spoken that night. And it fell right on the kitchen floor. So I glued it just to show tonight that I'm going to do this again. Tim, that really works. I understand how quick it works now. But this here, I mean, it was it would have made the job probably 2 months simpler if I would have known that.
How long did you boil it?
Well, to get it all going, 15 minutes. I put it in another 15 minutes because I wanted to try to get this side. The whole project was to have both tops be at 90
Yeah.
and this one out and one straight. That was what the project is. Have them both at 90, and this one like it is. But I'll do it. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. um, sorry, goof around with all the time tonight. Here's I had a crotch piece of I think this was maple, and made a little vase.
That's very nice,
There you
Al.
go.
I put
Kind
it
of
up.
wood. What kind of wood?
This was maple. I
That's
I have
nice,
a whole bunch of it that neighbor gave me, and I was out there today. Probably altogether, I had probably 12, 14 feet, no, maybe even longer than that, maybe 20, 25 feet of wood. But all I got out of it was maybe uh 10, 10 little pieces. It was really bad wood. You'll probably see some really bad stuff coming up pretty soon. But anyway, it's still fun. And thanks a lot for all the information with this. I'm going to try every bit I heard.
There you go.
Everybody have a good evening. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I wasted
Thanks,
everybody's
Al.
time. All right, you guys have a good evening.
Al, it's
All
never
right,
a waste,
let's-
buddy. Never.
Well, anyway, I've always had fun ever since I started saying hi. So I hope everybody says hi, and it's just fun. Everybody have a good evening.
Yep. You get more out of it if you're involved, that's for sure.
Man, can't wait for Wednesday night. All right,
Hey,
everybody
Roger.
have a good
That's
evening.
beautiful.
That is
Okay,
gorgeous.
I finally got this one
Yeah.
done.
That's
That's
beautiful. Right.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Peace.
I've never turned
Glad I didn't
hickory.
have to follow you.
This is the first time I've turned hickory, and I like it. Looks decent.
Pretty.
Looks more than decent.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Looks beautiful.
Very nice, Roger.
Thank you. And hopefully Joaquin can make some sense of all the pictures I sent him so he can post them.
It's getting in there. That's why I added the 2 pages to the spread.
Yep.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
That is beautiful. Looks a little bit like Charlie Brown's sweater. I love it.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
It does. But you know what? You're very inspirational for what segmented turning. People don't know what segmented turning is all about. That's very inspirational to get into that. That's really pretty. I mean,
I like
you're
doing
design.
segmented work. You know, it's now that I have my shop where I got all my tools available, I can start doing more of it.
There you go.
Beautiful.
For people that know about segmenting, to get that design, there's oh my God, I'm just looking. You're like halfway then halfway. You got 2 colors and probably oh my, I'm
It's
looking at
coming
that.
It's coming to a newsletter real soon.
My, that's really pretty.
It'll be in next week's newsletter.
Those chevrons
Yeah,
aren't as
good
hard
deal.
as they look, but when you first look at them, they're like, wow.
Right.
And you know, when I first was making it, I wasn't going to put the darker rings in it. And then I thought, well, maybe I need to do something. And I posted a picture on Facebook, and Malcolm Tibbetts came back and says it needs a dark ring above it and below it.
I agree. That
So
made
that's what I did. And I think it looks great.
I saw that chat. I saw that.
Yep, it's beautiful.
Turned out real
All right.
nice.
Good
Now I got to
job,
figure out what next one to make.
Well
It's
done,
only
Roger.
It's only got 2 coats of lacquer on it. I'm gonna have to put a couple more, and then I'll finish it out. But
At least it's all filleted now.
There you go.
Really
Great
pretty.
job.
All right, let's go to Mr. Miller.
All
Doug.
right. All right. I got a couple of things, and I got one I got to ask you if I've shown it to you before or not. Let's see. Last week, I guess it was turning an oak piece, and I've still got Roger on the screen.
I see you.
Okay. Okay. Now I see Dane.
Oh, you're back.
Okay.
Now
Anyway,
you're gone.
there we
That
go.
was my fault.
Here we go.
There we are. It's always fun, whether it's doing something live or well, this is live, Zoom, whatever you. Anyway, did this little oak bow, and I wanted to do a little band of color. So that's some Color Shift powder that I used on there. Turned the bowl, kept a little rim here, just a band around there. It's not something applied. It's something that was left. Then we put some size, some gold leaf size on there, and then brushed on the Color Shift powder. So it came out really, really. I like the way it came out. A nice wax finish inside and out. It came out real good. And the oak is just really nice for dunnage. This oak has been great. I've loved every piece I've turned of it. Come forward in time this week, and I got started on some of the holiday turning that has to be done. Nice little snowman of poplar. This is his bride. Again, poplar on both of those. A little bit of bark left on the back side, well, whatever side you want to make that of her. And I don't know what that dark line is. On him, it's just a dark line that was there. And of course, if you have a mama and daddy, you got to have a little son too, with his little derby hat. So anyway, we're ready, or starting to get ready. My goal is to come up with about 120 of those, maybe a few more for the Christmas season. And then I'm not sure if I showed this recovery piece or not. I was in one of my demos was doing a cherry bowl, and when I got into it, I came up with this kind of rotten area. Left a big circle in there, but the wood itself was still pretty solid. And so, what do you do with it? Well, I went ahead, and you can probably see right there in the center, I went ahead and made it a funnel intentionally so that I could then add a pedestal. So this is it's all cherry. The bowl part, the top part was a core, is the center core. I had the main bowl and a little bowl, and this was in the middle between the two. And so I turned that, I cored it, dried it, turned it. Then I did the pedestal with the what is that, about 1.25 inch tenon on the top to come up through it. So and now I've been finishing it off and on ever since. And it's been sitting here in my shop getting dusty. I've got to clean it off every time I want to add some more finish, including right now. It's dusty as it can be. But anyway, there's that. So that's a nice little recovery piece.
There you go.
Nice.
That's what I've got.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Kingsley. Dave, we got you now.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi there.
Well, I managed to get out in the shop this week, and I made a little tureen.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And what I thought was cool was on the top, the knob is made from a branch, and the core of the branch is dead center in the knob. So I get this nice little ring effect. It's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
And it
Looks like it belongs in our newsletter.
It does, as soon as I get a chance to take the pictures.
Thank you.
And this will be a 40th anniversary gift for my niece.
I love that shape. That shape is beautiful.
And I haven't had a chance to get out and finish the bottom yet. And it's
beautiful.
Finished with pure carnauba wax.
There you go.
I like the way the lid just creates the rest of the shape. It's just
Yeah,
great.
I worked hard trying to get it.
Yeah, it's really pretty, Dave.
My wife saw it without the lid, without the knob, and she said, "Oh, that's ugly." And I did the knob, and she went, "Wow." But it's black walnut, locust, and walnut.
Beautiful.
Good combo. Real good
What kind
combo.
of finish you gonna put on it?
Oh, it's got pure Cordova wax, all buffed in.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right on.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
That's about it for this week. Don't get a lot of time in the shop. Yeah, driving me crazy, but grandson's worth it.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We'll bring up Scott here, and then Matt, you take over after Scott here.
So I've got a couple pieces. I did a platter. It started to crack a little bit on me. It's made out of cherry. So I kind of turned the cracks out. My wife loves the shape. I'm not so sure about it, but that's the first piece I've done for a while. And then I did a hollow form, and this is kind of a recovery because I haven't done many. And when I got inside with the carbide tool, I cut the whole top off, got it a little too thin. So I made a ring around it and then did a finial out of the same wood. But I was really interested in how Billy got the shine on his because I worked like hell on the Beal system to get it this shiny, and it isn't as good as his. So, but that's the two
Looks good
pieces
from
I've
here.
got. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. So
But
my wife,
I've never been real successful with using my buffing system.
my wife put it in the living room, so I know that she likes it.
That's very pretty. That's very pretty.
Thank you.
It really is.
That's very pretty.
Yeah.
I have had great success with the Beal buffing system, so I'm pretty happy with mine.
Yeah. I think it's just like everything else, it comes down to practice. So I haven't practiced with mine enough. I haven't had a lot of time in the shop. So, but that's all I've got. Oh, I do have this other little, this is made out of wood called tamarack. And
nice.
Pretty.
Just a very simple little vase. Fella gave me a piece of wood and I turned it, and boy, that's got to be one of the prettiest pieces of wood I've seen for a while.
Wow.
It's got patterns like a Holstein cow.
That's what I was thinking, a cow. Yes.
Yeah. Well, here we've got a tamarack pine. Is that the same piece? That's the same wood?
I'm not sure. Like up here in Canada, we call it tamarack. You guys could call it something else, but like we call it Manitoba maple, you call it box elder. So it could be exactly the same. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, cool. I'll have to look at my tamarack more closely then if you could get color like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
Yeah,
So,
great job, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Safety Sue for our safety moment. Welcome back, Sue. Back to Florida. You're muted.
Sorry
Welcome
about
home, Sue.
Thank you. By the way, Brenda, this is not anything to do with turning.
She's got a Band-Aid.
Yes, I do. My skin, as I get a little older, keeps getting thinner and thinner. So yeah, some of you know what it's like. So yeah, it's good to be home. I feel like Dorothy with her little red ruby shoes putting them together. It's great. So anyways, tonight I'm going to talk about carpal tunnel. I know we've talked about it before, but a lot of people don't know what it does and how to suspect that you might have it. The first time that I was introduced to carpal tunnel was at the post office back in the 70s when they started using machines to key zip codes in to sort the mail. But if you ever been numb, these three fingers, sometimes that finger too, chances are you've got carpal tunnel. And what that is the nerves being kind of crushed in the fabric of what they're enclosed in. Now, I have carpal tunnel in both hands. And my first clue was this finger is numb. It missed this finger, but my thumb is numb. I do wear carpal tunnel stuff every night, but some nights when I was up north, I didn't have it on. So I think that exasperated the situation. On this hand, this is numb. Again, this is numb. But I've also lost the opposing thumb. You know, you should be able to go like this, 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 you know, all that, and have pretty much of a circle there. As you can tell, there's not really a circle anymore. And to touch anything, it's hard. So when you're turning, take breaks. Even if it's just 5 minutes, take a break. Do some exercises. Do exercises. And you can feel this going all the way up. Do exercises, and it's a repetitive motion injury. So do exercises to stop it. So anyways, guys, be careful and recognize what your body's telling you. And don't wait till you're exhausted to take a break. Just put it in your mind, okay, I'm going to turn for an hour, and then I'm going to take a few minutes to break, to work my hands, to stretch my back, and maybe go to the restroom. So, yes, be safe this week. I'm so glad to be home. And I hope to see you next week. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Nice job.
All right. Let's go to our scheduled demo for the evening. Let's see. Oh, it's this guy. So I'm gonna put my cell phone on for the host here. I got to swap out my earbuds. That way you guys can hear me over at the lathe, and we'll go from there. So just give me a minute here to get myself set up, and we will get started.
While Ben is getting set up, let me advise you folks that we have got Level Up planned for September 2026, and that's going to be one of our first planned events where the entire club we get together. It's going to be in Wisconsin, and we look forward to having all you members there. And if you need more details, they'll be on our website as they develop. We have a team putting that together, and this team is comprised all of members working as volunteers to put this all together. If you have comments, questions, whatever, you want to get a hold of us, one email address, levelup@worldwidewoodturners.org. levelup@worldwidewoodturners.org. That's the way to get in touch with us. And this is a planned event. A while ago, we set it up a newsletter having special features this month. Next week is going to be a special one about that segmented bowl piece, and that is for new membership. So membership builds this club, as it will and always will. Talking about that, our demonstration tonight is by one of our regional members. That's Dane Chandler in Tucson, Arizona, and he's going to get together. Now, folks, here's the rules on the demonstration. It's pretty simple. He's the demonstrator. We're going to let him do his job and do the demonstration. And if he has questions, if he'd like to have questions, he'll ask you. If not, hold your questions and your comments until his demonstration is complete, and then we'll get into a Q&A. But first thing first, let's see what he's got in his bag of tricks tonight to show us. So now we go to Dane Chandler for a demonstration. Dane, it's your show, sir. I'm out of here. and we're going to mute the
Okay.
entire audience so
That
that
sounds good.
you have,
Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
and one of the other hosts
Yes.
has to mute
We
all.
can hear
Yes.
you. Can hear.
Okay, good. All right, if one of the co-hosts can mute everybody.
Usually only the host, but I'll mute as many as. You'll have to unmute yourself, Dane.
Got two systems running here. Got it. Okay, so tonight we're gonna attempt to make an Egyptian themed box. Kind of looks like an acorn. Am I zoomed in too far, or?
A little bit. Just back it off of here. It'll be perfect. Then we can see your tool action. That's good.
That was good, yeah.
Your rare back in the box. So essentially, it's an acorn. I was doing play on words. Once again, my joke fell on deaf ears.
I was just thinking, what's Egyptian about this?
So that was a piece of maple. It was a dry run that I did earlier today. First piece I've turned in about 3 weeks. And so I'm starting with another piece of maple. It's got a little bit of spalding, and I think it's red maple. And so yeah, plow through it and see what kind of trouble we can do. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make the lid first. And then one of the key elements of an acorn is the acorn, the bottom of the nut, it actually grows up inside of the cap. And so one of the key elements that is often missed is right where that curve comes around. You want to have a flat here, and then on the box itself, you want to have a slight curve going towards the tenon. That way, when you got it put together, it looks like it's growing all the way inside. So let's grab the face shield. Put a smock on, so try not to get as many shavings all over my nice worldwide t-shirt. And let the sweating commence. So first we want to kind of identify where the lid is going to be at. So this is about the width of the lid that I'm going to go for, and then down right about through here will probably be the body of the nut. And if you throw the old golden mean calipers on there, they're like dead on. So once you get used to it, you, like Matt was saying a while back, your eye gets trained to the golden ratio. So we're going to start by smoothing this out, getting a pretty decent finish here with the skew. At least we're going to attempt to. Make sure it's all nice and round. And you'll notice I've already got a tenon cut on this side because we're gonna turn the cap first, and then we'll use the nut base as a jam chuck to finish the top of the cap. So all I'm doing now is just putting the putting a demarcation line here where my lid's going to be. And that's like glass. So I'm going to come in from spindle gouge. I'm going to rotate, get the basic shape here on the side. Actually, we're going to part that off first. We need to part that off. Get the part before the horse. Coming in with cutting tool. Everybody knows how to part. So what I'm doing is taking a little one blade length down, and then coming on the other side, taking a half a blade length. That way you've got room and you ain't got to worry about your tool jailing up on you. Now I'll take it down so far, and then I'll switch to a 16th parting tool, take it the rest of the way, back off the live center so there's no pressure. Definitely not necessary. But I like doing it because I can get a finer cut and not have to worry about losing the piece because I went too far with the larger tool. And so now we'll take the base off. I always want to make sure that I have jaw number one. That it started with when it was turned round. While we're here, let's talk about trying to find that perfect tenon. And you often hear me say, all you got to do is lay your pencil on your live center, circle that out. Now you've got the perfect size tenon for your standard jaws on your chucks, your 50 mil jaws, without having to get any additional jigs or anything hanging around that we got to keep up with. Now, then spindle gouge, get that rough contour shape here. Like I said, we're not too worried about the top half because that's going to be finished in the back jam shut. So all I'm shooting for is about half, almost like doing a bead. So using spindle gouge, cut on the center for a little bit above. That's what I do. Then we'll just start making this rounded shoulders. nice cuts. We don't want sand. Check the roundness here. Funky. So now we've got the basic shape on this side. We can do away with self-advertising there. I need to slide the tailstock back. One thing that's different about doing this demo here, when I did a dry run earlier, I don't work, whenever I'm doing spindle work and any type of hollowing, I don't work off the side of the bed. I always slide the tail screw, the headstock down, work off the end, just because it's so much better on my back. Nobody wants to watch me taking the tailstock off and putting it back on, so we'll just struggle through it here. Any questions so far?
Nothing in chat, Dane.
Right on. Okay, so scrapers. I want to talk about scrapers. Talked about it in the past. Come back over and discuss it again, since that's what I'm going to be using for a few items. And so you'll notice on when you use a scraper, the business end obviously is, you know, whatever bevel angle you've got there. Then you want to get it sharp, that way you got a nice burr here on top. But before you use a scraper, you got to understand that this is just a flat piece of flat bar, and you can see the milling marks from the milling machine that are in here compared to where it's all nice and shiny up here, where it's been worked through on the diamond stuff. You have to treat your scrapers just like a planer. You've got to flatten it in order to get a proper cutting edge. So you have to do the same thing on your scrapers. You need to flatten the top of it. Then you'll have a true, consistent, flat edge. Also, when after you've already done that, and then you go back to resharpen, you always, before you go to raise that burr again, you always want to take the old burr off, because the original burr is now jagged and broke. And if you just put another burr on there, now you've got a partial burr along with jagged burrs, and it's not going to give you a completely clean cut. Any questions on that? Nope. All right, we'll carry on. Okay, so we're making this flat. So we've got the curve coming around. So now we want to get a nice, consistent flat on that shoulder there. Again, to emulate that nut growing up inside of it. And to do that, use a square scraper. You could use a parting tool. I prefer a scraper. And we're just going to go in following proper scraper usage techniques. You want to cut on center, but you want to have the tool handle raised, because if you just go in straight, you're going to get a catch. So you've got to raise the tool handle a little bit. And then so now I'm cutting at a negative rate, the proper cutting action on a flat scraper. And so we'll just take this down until I got a nice flat shoulder here. And so when you're making that cut, to make sure that you're going straight, you want to be parallel. You want to have the scraper parallel with your lathe ways, because those are parallel. And so if you just eyeball where your tool is at with your bed ways, 9 times out of 10, you're always going to cut a consistently flat shoulder on something. And so when I put my straight edge on, I've got no daylight. And that's what we wanted.
Got a question, Dane.
Sure.
What angle is your scraper sharpened at?
I knew you were going to ask that. There's a guy over in England that says right about that. So
Is that about 80 degrees?
It could be. Yeah. I'll grab the protractor afterwards and see what we can figure out on it.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got our shoulder now. And so now we want to excavate the inside of the cap. And so to do that, you can use your spindle gouge, you can use a detail gouge. I'm going to use a 1/2-inch round nose scraper. So once again, it has been flattened. Has that angle on it. Probably about 75, 80 degrees as well. And we've already raised our tool rest from the prior scraper, so should be good on that. Now, when I'm going in here and cutting, am I blocking the camera?
You did a little bit at one point.
Yeah, right there. You're good, Dane.
Okay. So just engaging just below center and then raising the handle up as I'm pulling towards about 10 o'clock. And I'll tell you, this is so awkward. I've been turning off the front of the lathe for probably about 7 years now. This is an awkward way to turn. So I don't
a little bit out of your comfort, a little bit out of your comfort zone.
Well, it's yeah, it's hard to believe that I used to do this. But now I've gotten so used to not having to do it. It's awkward. So you got to be careful not to go too far. So I've only got about 3/16 of an inch in the chuck. So you don't want to blow through, but at the same time, you got to have enough room so you can finish excavating or carving out the top side of the cap here. So it's always good to stop and see what your progress is. Some good shavings. Not bad for some pumpkin stuff here. A little bit further. And then we got to set the recess. So I think that'll be good. So next, I'm going to use my box scraper. Same process. And we're just going to push straight in, making sure we're staying parallel. But we got to be mindful of the cant on the sidewall here. So I've got cutting action here on the tip. So as it's going straight in, it's cutting. And then at the same time, it's cutting on this surface here on the side as well to make a nice clean cut for your wall. All right, that should be enough. So you always see me, I'll always make sure the wood chips are blown away before I move my tool rest for ice. Got a chunk of the blade, those items over it, chunk underneath. And then we're going to have out of balance, out of position issues. All right, so at this time, you needed to sand. This is the time you want to sand. We had a sanding demo last week, so I'm not going to sand. This is definitely at 340. Even the funky stuff, there's no tear out in there. Cool. And if you want to finish it, you can go ahead and finish it at that point. Also, if you wanted to put any line details in with your toe of your skew or your 3.2 tool, now's the time to do it. So with that, we'll set that aside. We'll remount the base body. Put that back in jaw number 1. Marked it earlier. Should rotate nice and round. Look at that. So now comes the hard part. What's the hard part, Brenda?
Hollowing it out.
Nope. Hard part is trying to get that nice friction fit.
Oh. My problem is hollowing it out.
Hollowing easy.
Yeah, you get it's creeping up on the right size. It's the hard part. I hear you, Dane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, eyeball that. Let's see how that works. We just want to sneak up on it. So we use our skew. Raise the tool rest a little bit. I'm just going to do a atypical plunge planing cut. And just like that, blow right through it. That was so close.
Just a little bit more. Right now would be about the time I'd think maybe I should just sand a little off
Yeah.
because I can get too much.
That tenon is so tiny. We wind up sanding the wrong spot. We're close.
Almost.
Almost, right? I'm just gonna sure. Now, length. Front is good. It's the back. Like I said, the hardest part, unless you've done several of them, then you got the muscle memory filled in. All right, we're going to try to sing. Can't say it I've ever had any luck. Go back to this. goodness. That's a little too much. All right.
Beautiful.
It fits. Bring the left tailstock up, our center in, give it a little bit of thickness. Yes. Be thin there. See what happens. Come back in spindle gouge. So now we just want to rotate it over because now we're trying to get the rest of this shape. It's taking no pressure at all to burnish that wood.
What speed are you turning at?
About 26. Forward. Little rest there. the outside a little bit here with some sandpaper. And top of the lid. That's the
Beautiful.
And so next, what we want to do is we want to get that slight curve going on here at the top, so that that wall looks like it's going underneath the cap. Definitely should have started with a bigger piece of wood. But that's it. So we'll take the skew, work a little bit of that off. I didn't realize this piece of wood was had that funkiness going on with it. It is fun. Let's see how it looks. A little bit more. Cut a little slower. Yeah, a bit. Now that's there. All right, now we can come back. Set our drill a hole inside, set our distance to hollow. First, I had to get rid of that elbow pointer. handy dandy drill machine there. Go to about here. So I made a divot earlier, a little point on the brad point. Find the center there. Drill it about 400, 300 to 400. And just push it in. Once you've got it on parallel, you know you're cutting because it actually cuts. Got to be mindful not to drill too far. Quarter of an inch.
What's the size of your drill bit?
It's like a quarter. Got that? Let me double check. Looks like a quarter of an inch. Nope. It's 5/16.
Okay.
5/16. So I just got it something profile here. Then it comes in easy for pass it like that. And so next we can hollow.
Fun part.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I still have trouble with it.
And so you can use your spindle gouge, and you want to be cutting about on center, just above. You're just going to go in and grab that left wall, the hole, and as you'll be cutting on the bottom flute here. The flute will be pretty much open, and you're going to be dragging it somewhere between 9:30 and 10:30 on a clock face. You'll know the sweet spot when you hit it because it'll cut good, and you just work your way down. One important thing is you want to make sure you got your tool rest far enough back to where you're not resting your bevel on your tool rest, because otherwise that's gonna give you problems. And you just go a little bit at a time. So I'll go a good bit of distance down here. And then I'll grab the scraper and finish it up. You want to get a good amount of wood out. Because you don't want your box to be too heavy. And once again, for me, this is really awkward. There's a big difference between turning straight on and then turning off to the side and having all your leverage on the other side of the lathe. Let's see how much further I got. another 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to grab round nose scraper. Could do a could use a left hand scraper for it. Since nobody will ask, this is a left hand scraper. So the reason why I call it a left hand scraper is because the cutting edge is on the left hand side. You can also take some bar stock and grind it on the opposite end and call it a right hand scraper. Y'all must be sleepy tonight.
I knew that one.
Yes, that's right. You do know that one.
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
You can also take a left hand or a right hand scraper and turn it into a left hand scraper.
Yes, and I know that one. I know that one because of you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So once again, got a scraper. You want to be cutting on center, tool handle raised. If you're going in straight, you're going to get a violent catch.
That's how I blew up that last bow I did.
Yeah. Yeah, you got startled. Yep. First, I'm going to take my box scraper and I'm going to go down the wall here and open that up a little bit.
Your head's in the way.
So I'm having to do everything on just on feel and sound. Because one, I don't have my light on, so I can't really see in there very good. And two, like I said, this is like a whole new turning experience. Fighting with the leg, these two legs back here trying to trip me.
Dane, we got a question about your scraper.
Yes.
Are your scrapers handmade or homemade?
No, they were purchased. They were purchased.
Okay.
But you can easily make one out of some bar stock. If I needed a scraper today, that's what I would do. I would make it far cheaper. So I'm just trying to get a nice concave bottom here, joining with the wall. Almost there. Just a little bit of the drill, the hole that was drilled earlier. Moved. Yeah, that looks good in there. Hit that with a little bit of black paper. this just a piece of 40. Right. And just grins and put a little bit of linseed oil in there. Give me a minute and grab some water. Any questions?
What wax did you use?
Old linseed oil.
Can you explain to everyone? I know you've told me this, but explain to everyone why you, when you're done turning, you turn your lathe speed down instead of turning the lathe off.
Because the on-off button, the mechanical components that are in that paddle switch are cheaply made. You're constantly knocking it off, hitting it to turn it off, pulling it back on to turn it back on. It just wears the switch out quicker. So if you got a speed control speed knob, it's just far easier to turn the speed down to 0 and turn your speed back up. And then at the same time, you always know that when you start your lathe up, it's set at 0. Instead of hitting that paddle switch, putting it on, and maybe you turned it off suddenly and you walked away and you forgot that you had it on at 1,500 RPMs. You got a block of wood on there, and then that block of wood comes flying off. Or you got a big piece on your chuck, and you hit that paddle switch, and your lathe doesn't have auto braking. And then when you do that hard stop, then your chuck comes winding off. For those that don't use the little rough screws, and then even those that do use the rough screw, it's still marring and making indentations on your spindle shaft.
Hey, Dane, question on your blow. Is it full strength or is it diluted?
This is 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, my linseed oil I use 100%. All right, so what we got going on here? So now we just need to profile the outside. Something like bottom of an egg, bottom half of an egg. Got how you can do whatever. Somebody questions whether it's actual acorn, you just tell them, you just make up a name. There's probably 1,000 different species of oaks. Not everybody knows specifically what each acorn looks like. Or like I said, it's a Middle Eastern basket. From the days of Indiana Jones. Okay, so let's make sure that we've got this set. Don't want to blow through the bottom. Where the line is at, that's dead bottom there. So I'm going to come to the side here. back to the spindle gas. We're about center. First, we want to open up a little bit of room so we can got room to start making that curve and going down towards the center here. Start connecting curves. Just doing some roughing cuts here. I ain't gonna worry about the nice fine cuts for the end. The darndest cutting piece of wood. Hard, soft, hard, soft. Not used to cutting stuff like this.
Yeah, grain like that makes your tool jump around.
Yeah, it does. Burning so easily. Change the detail down. Start red. Maybe. So make it different. Right there. Neck stretch here.
Getting a kink?
Yeah, went too long that time. It's, my sandpaper, sandpaper. I do little strips, and I fold it into birds. It provides backing for the paper, but at the same time, it prevents the paper from breaking off the splitting. One of you. Learn that
That when?
That Richard Rapp.
Okay. Starting to cut out a little bit.
You what?
Said you were starting to cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. So, let's go back to the detail gouge. Dress this thing off. Smaller ones. Put some oil on the outside, see what it looks like.
Why do you use
I said
your
oil,
finger
not,
instead of
I
paper
said
towel?
oil, not denatured alcohol. What was that, Brenda?
Why are you using your finger to spread it instead of a paper towel?
Oh, I use paper towels to wipe it off my fingers.
I guess you're not leaving no fuzzies on it that way either, are you?
Well, no, you know, your fingers are 150 grit, so we learned that last week. Right, JJ?
Yes, we did.
Let that soak in a little bit here. There, I used a paper towel. What you could do, jam chug. Remount this and work the flip it around and then work the bottom. That would be too easy, wouldn't it, Billy?
There it is.
Just fly off.
Yep. Nice catch.
Little pointy down. Here we go.
Very nice.
That's beautiful.
Very nice.
Trust me, it's got a real nice snap.
Nice.
Looks good.
That's it.
Dane, that was a very
Yeah.
enjoyable evening. Believe me.
Well, thank you.
That was
That's
a
how
very
many times.
enjoyable evening.
Yeah, great demo, Dane.
Thank you.
Very enjoyable evening, Dane.
Nice job and some nice information.
That's for sure.
Well, we aim to please here, right?
Well, it's called a technique. You showed us a lot of technique and shared a lot of ideas. And what it allows us to do is take what we've seen you do tonight and apply it to our turning and get a little bit better. And that's our goal. And I love it. I really do. Beautiful piece of work there. Very nice. I'm going to be bugging out my driver.
Glad to do it.
My driver just realized where she left me at, and she's going to come back and get me. I'm going to lose my Wi-Fi, folks. So I'm going to head on to. I'm going to be heading to Spot, and I'll see you folks next Wednesday. But I'll see a whole bunch of y'all tomorrow night in Waco, Texas. And until then, folks, y'all be safe and be good.
Enjoy yourself, Eddie.
Night, Eddie.
Enjoy
I
it.
will.
Tomorrow evening, Eddie.
Safe travel.
Night, Eddie.
Hey, gang.
See you tomorrow, Eddie.
Good night, Eddie.
See you tomorrow.
Dane, I'm especially excited, I guess, about seeing the scraper used for Halloween. You know,
Oh, yeah,
'cause
that
I
was
had
part
so
of
much trouble with that one.
that was part of the intent of when I was trying to figure out yesterday afternoon what to do for a demo tonight. Because I hadn't scheduled myself for tonight, so kind of had a fallout, but it's all good. You know, it's what we do is
I
we
figured it was a last minute thing.
step up. So yeah, it was. You know, shit happens. No big deal.
Yep.
You know, but you know, trying to think, you know, of doing, you know, showing something, you know, and I keep going back to the other demonstrators. You know, let's try to do something different. You know, not the same stuff that we normally do. You know, little bowls, little plates, little goblets. You know, whatever the normal is. You know, that's why, you know, when Matt asked me, hey, what would you like to see be done? And that's when I, you know, like, hey, you know, do you know how to make a church salt spice taker? And, you know, so sent him, you know, my write up on it, pictures of mine, you know, this is how I did it. And that's why Matt went and tackled it.
That was good.
You know, but to do something, you know, it's a simple project. I used to make a bunch of these in the past. And little ones you can knock off, in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And $10, $15, they sell all day. And, a lot of the teenage girls and young women, they like putting them, keeping them in their purse, for whatever they want to put inside. But that's primarily the clientele that I had for these little boxes. $10, a little one like this, $5. You sell 50 of them a day, make all, do all your turning on something like this. But it's something different. It's different skills. And like I said, using the scraper, we really don't use the scraper very often. In any of our demos, projects that we've done in the past. So
to me, it's difficult.
It's a sound.
The skew.
Do what?
To me, it's just as difficult to use as the skew.
It can be.
I think I think scrapers are easier, but that's just me.
I do too, but you have to remember if you're talking about a straight scraper, you've got to make sure that you give it a little bit of a downward cant or a negative rake, if you will. Otherwise, if you get a catch, it will be disastrous
and violent. And Brenda knows that from her. She had a nice bowl going until she got interrupted. She was interrupted twice. Somebody came in on her. She looked up to see who it was. Meanwhile, the scraper is still in the bowl, and catch the wall and kaboom.
That's all it takes.
Yep.
Right.
Explain to us your technique. You were saying that you're not used to leaning over the lathe.
Right. So
I love that idea.
Yeah. So let me go back onto the cell phone here. Place. Switch. All right. So, typically we turn, headstock, and we're laying against the bed here. But for me, I take my tailstock all the way off, and then I take the tool rest and yoke, and I set that on my bed extension, and then I slide my headstock all the way down where that tailstock is sitting, and then thus I'm turning
straight on.
Right.
And so I'm turning straight onto the piece.
Right.
So I've got, the full leverage of having, my tools up, supported and anchored, using the triangle, the body triangle. You're able to see dead on into your vessel, for what you're turning, instead of, getting a sideways peek of it.
Would that, in reality, I'm thinking that would make it, you're turning more like spindle turning, because you're going straight on it.
No, but it's face turning, so the wood is not moving towards you; it's moving concentrically.
Right. It's it's rotating. Left. As you're standing here, it's rotating to the left or to the right. Depending upon if you're turning. The
keeps you out of the line of fire for sure.
Absolutely.
A technique that Cap Medi talked about in one of his videos on hollowing was if you can turn in reverse.
Yes.
That way, as you're leaning across, you're seeing the tip of your tool.
Right.
Make sure, but if you're turning in reverse like that, make damn sure that you got your set screw, your grub screw, sitting on your chuck. Otherwise, it could be a very bad day. But that works real well.
Yeah.
Yep, there are specific tools made for that. I have one that is designed for hollowing small ornaments turned in reverse that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and you can easily make your own tools, from a piece of bar stock or from an Allen key. It's all on the direction and the side that you grind your angles at. I'll turn in reverse lots of times, just based upon the surface that you're getting. Sometimes, turning in the traditional direction and having it cut in that direction. Sometimes you just, you're doing everything perfectly, but you can't get a good smooth cut just because of how the grain is. The minute you flip it in reverse and you go through and you hit it, next thing you know, you got an immaculate surface. So it's very, so that's, one of the benefits also of, of having a lathe that does allow you to go in reverse.
And Dane also, one of the things that he also said, and this was true when I had that little Excelsior lathe that my son left me, was, that lathe didn't go in reverse. So what I did was I turned the lathe around, so I was on the reverse side of it.
For sure.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked
right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
If you don't have a reverse, just get on the other side of the lathe.
Yeah. Yeah. You just go to the opposite side, and providing if you're not butted up against the wall, and it's a pain for you to to have to move. If you got it set up where you can go on both sides, that's the way to go. That's one way to get around the reverse mechanism. But yeah, so tonight was kind of like learning how to turn over again. So I was struggling this earlier today when I made that little one, and I'm like, damn, it's like I've never turned wood before. And it didn't go ding ding for me until during the demo here, and I'm like, oh, that's the reason why. It's because I don't aside from profiling, or unless I'm hollowing and I got my my hollowing rig on, and then I'm just standing there guiding the bar and watching the laser, and watching, don't tell Safety Sue, but watching a TV show or baseball game or something on the iPad there while I'm hollowing big stuff with a hollowing rig is so slow.
I won't tell her.
All right.
Okay. I won't tell her either.
All right. Especially you, Safety Sue. You don't tell her anything. She'll get me in trouble. So, but yeah.
Moving the headstock down to the end of the lathe, and hopefully that won't hurt my back so much.
Well, yeah, especially for those of us that have back issues, it's a game changer. And I think your Laguna moves down, doesn't it, Brenda?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I don't have the extension, but I could still move it down there and turn off the end of it, instead of.
Sure, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Your tool rest slides all the way down. Bring your, you can do it that way as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dane. I have an old Nova XP, and the nice thing about it is that the headstock pivots. So you can pivot the headstock toward you about 45 degrees. Put the banjo right in front of it. Stand there all night.
Right. Now I've heard horror stories about those lathes that pivot, and you get a catch, and then that lathe tips over on you. When you've got a big, you're trying, you're pivoting it off because you got a piece that's larger than the swing over your ways, and and granted catch can happen to anyone, but relatively novice turners, and they get a catch, and it just levers right over onto you. So I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that or not, but and then you got to think about the forces of your turning. So you got your piece, you got your tool rest, you got your tool. That thing's going around and it's hitting your tool. All that force in turn is being driven down your tool rest, down into the bedways, down into the lathe legs, onto the floor. When you're pivoted out to the side, now everything's just
it's got more leverage.
Dampener is no longer there.
It's got more leverage. It's got more leverage to tip it like a seesaw. Yep.
Right. Yep.
Not only that, but mine constantly goes out of level. The pins.
Well, yep. And then you got to worry about realigning your headstock to your tailstock, or at least I hear a lot of stories about that. I'm not knocking those that use a pivoters, but those are items that come through my thought process on.
I've only pivoted it once, but it's constantly vibrating out of alignment.
Yeah. When you say vibrate, are you talking the headstock?
Yeah, but if you got a bouncing piece.
Yep.
Have
you looked at your?
You don't have a solid.
Yeah, I have.
You don't have a solid base when you make the pivot. Instead of it being on the base of the bedways, if you're going halfway, you don't have a solid base, and you're spinning. I mean,
right. That's what I was explaining.
Right.
So.
Yep.
All right.
I got to know.
Do we have any?
I got to know the 1624, Dane. And I don't have no trouble with pivoting it. And when you put it back, you can buy this double Morse Taper 2 pin that lines up perfectly.
Right.
And
I hear you.
Maybe because I haven't put anything big on it, I've reversed it 180 degrees, put it on the side, put it on an angle, and I just gotta have common sense,
Yeah.
Well,
Mine
yeah,
doesn't have
but
a problem either.
Remember the preface that I made? I said novice turners getting a catch on a piece that's way bigger than they should be turning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are the ones I'm specifically speaking to. I'm not talking about those of you that have the pivoters that, as we like to say, know what we're doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I say I'm not ragging on anybody's pivoting lathe. I'm talking about those that have them that are new turners, and they're it's a 12-inch swing or a 14-inch swing, but then they throw an 18-inch piece on the outside of their lathe, and you're like, oh, look at me! And I got my spindle roughing gouge shoved in there, and it catches and it flips over on them because you hear about you see the stories online about it.
Yeah, the biggest thing I've done is 24 inches, but it was a platter, so it wasn't anything to worry about.
Sure.
Hey, Dane, I think Mark Soleil put down earlier that he had something to show.
Yeah, that he's on the list too.
All right.
I'm not a new turner by any stretch, but I wouldn't go so far as to say I know what I'm doing.
I understand that.
We're all still learning. No matter how long you've been turning.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to see some gallery, Dane?
I have a quick request, actually, and it's kind of left over from last week. There was a discussion that Eddie started about a drawbar, and I had no idea what it was last week, so I went out and looked at it, and I figured out what it was, and I was thinking, I don't have one at the moment. I'm thinking about making one. I was wondering if anybody wants to point out to the rest of the folks that didn't know what the drawbar was and why Eddie was color coding them and whatnot. Suddenly dawned on me what it was, and I said, "Oh, what do you know? I've been buying the wrong kind of equipment because none of it's got a hole in the end of it. I couldn't use the drawbar if I wanted to."
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I heard drawbar, I was thinking drawbridge. Why am I coloring a drawbridge now? I'm sorry, I'm
I
kidding. I
have-
wasn't really thinking about drawbridges, but
I have 2 drawbars, and I do use them occasionally. And I have a few pieces of equipment that do accept them. So what a drawbar is basically is a threaded rod that goes through your headstock to secure something on your headstock that usually is held on by friction in your tailstock or something like that. So examples of things that you would use that a drawbar with is your Jacobs chuck, a chuck to hold like bottle stoppers, things like that.
Bell
So
belt, the bell
what's that?
buffing system.
Yeah, or the Beal buffing system. Yep, excellent. Thank you, Joaquin. And the one that I made is basically a 1/4 inch by 20 threaded rod, just a standard threaded rod, and it's long enough to go through my headstock. And then I took a 1/4 inch by 20 nut and built a sort of a knob around that nut. Yeah, there you go, just what Dane's showing. And I built a nut around it, and then the nut holds it onto your headstock on the outboard side of your headstock, and you just screw it into whatever you're putting into your headstock on the inboard side, such as your Jacobs chuck or your bottle stopper holder or whatever, anything that basically has got a number 2 MT and goes into your headstock that way.
Yeah, Morris paper collet stuck same way.
Yep, yep. And I know that you can buy them. Ruth Niles sells them to go with her bottle stoppers, and it's a nice one. I've got that, and I also made one myself before that. So can't hear you, Dane.
You're muted, Dane.
If you go to Woodcraft, you can buy a Pro pen mandrel, right? That has the back of the Morse taper is threaded, and it accepts a 5/16 threaded rod, and it's very handy. You can knock the pen, the bar out, and you can put a 1/4 20 screw in the end of the pen mandrel, and I use that all the time for all kinds of little things. You have a screw chuck that will never come off because you got the drawbar in there.
Yeah, the drawbar secures it. It's a great piece of equipment. Yeah, I agree.
Sounded like a great safety item to have.
If you
bought a Jacobs
that
that has a hole in it to let you screw into it.
Yep, and you shouldn't use number 2 MT taper things in your headstock without that unless you've got tailstock support that you're using.
Morris paper.
So absolutely.
For all Morse papers.
Yep.
Not just MT2.
Well, yep.
I use one in my tailstock for my elbow tool.
Yep, I use one for my boring machine.
There you go.
Dane, I got another question about your tool, your bowl gouge. What did you have in the middle of it? Is it just painted in the middle, or?
Oh, my spindle gouge?
Yeah, the spindle gouge.
I had a piece of tape.
Okay.
From a demo from a couple 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Put it so y'all can see the cutting.
Open and close flute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was doing something on opening, how the flute is when you're doing a cut.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
That be it.
I got you.
Right on.
All right. Should we go to gallery?
Yes.
All right. Well, Mark Slay has been waiting patiently, so let's see what you got, Mark.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That way he went. What'd you do, Mark?
There you go. Now you're back.
Now I can't hear
And
you.
you're muted. You muted yourself.
There you go.
Okay, now unmute, Mark.
Oh, gorgeous.
That's really pretty. But
What
you're
if
still
I
muted.
decided that? Oh my goodness.
That is lovely.
Wow. Wow.
Mute yourself
Yep,
there, buddy.
Be great if we could hear you, Mark. We can't hear you.
I love his little tool rack there on his lathe. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would get in my way, frankly. I don't know. I don't, I get close up to things. I wanted things away from the front of my lathe.
Yes.
I've got one mounted between the legs of my 2014. It works well for me. It doesn't get
There
in my
you go.
way. I thought it might, but it doesn't.
Mark, we didn't hear anything you said. You're muted.
Okay,
not.
what,
There you
We
go.
didn't hear anything you said while you were showing us the piece of the tools.
what the piece of the tool brush?
Neither. You were muted the whole time.
You were muted.
Oh.
When you flipped your phone around, you
That-
muted yourself.
That's, let me go back to turn that thing around.
And then he's muted.
Muted again.
It's easier just to turn around the phone.
We ain't got no camera either.
There you go. Unmute yourself.
Okay. You know, this technology is beyond me. I can turn wood, but I can't. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, now let me turn the phone around then.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, we
Perfect.
got both.
Gorgeous.
So is that dyed green?
No, that's Buckeye burl.
Okay.
Oh,
Just a piece of Buckeye burl with one coat of Perfect 3408 on it. And
beautiful.
the other two pieces are the Gaboon Ebony. And there's no finish on the Gaboon Ebony. I never put any finish on African Blackwood or Gaboon Ebony because all you have to do is polish it with Vonex and it's good for life.
Cool.
But it's what I was doing. I made a birthday gift for one of my students, and she had been looking at a little bottle stopper, a piece that was this Buckeye burl, and so when she came back from Mississippi, I presented her a hollow lidded box made out of half of that bottle stopper, and I made this little piece the other day because she was nice enough to let me ride with her down to the South Metro Woodturners meeting, and Christine Smith was the demonstrator, and so I showed it down there just to show that you can turn tiny stuff. I sent a picture to Joaquin. He's going to put it in the newsletter. It's only 4 inches tall. The whole thing.
Super.
But if you have a number one, that's different than when I'm making my Christmas ornaments using the toothpick technology. This actually has tenons on it because you can do that and have it supported if you make a 3/8 tenon. So that little Buckeye has a 3/8 hole through it. And then your number one jaws will close down and hold a 3/8 tenon. So that's why it's 3/8. If I'm doing my toothpick technology, it's done on a quarter inch drill with a 90-degree countersink attached. That's how you make your tenonless turning, so that you never have to make a tenon, but my jaws will not close on anything less than 3/8 if I'm doing traditional turning. Everybody hearing
Got it.
that?
Super
Yeah.
nice.
Yep. Very nice, Mark.
All right, but just remember on your real, like your African blackwood and your Gaboon ebony, just don't put any finish on them because the finish will beat up. If it will not absorb into the wood, it's sort of waxy, and all you have to do is polish it with the Vonex, and you're good to go. Anyway,
Sounds great. Sounds great. It's a very nice piece, Mark.
okay, but make little things out of these leftover pieces. It's fun to do. Make little bowls, make little hollow forms, make Christmas ornaments. It's just fun.
Yep. Extra project wood.
And it will, it's a skill builder to make real tiny finials and things like that. So, but anyway, it's fun to do.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to Terry. What you got, Terry?
There. They get it?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm unmuted. This is just a piece of, I started this piece and I got sidetracked with house problems for a week, and the piece I had cut off from the top to make the top with cracked all the way across. So I wound up making the top out of a piece of mesquite. It's just a little vessel. And I was playing with the threading tool. It's got a threaded lid. You can see it pretty good. It's just a piece of mesquite, and I threaded the bottom.
Wow.
It's a threading machine. I was working on playing with that. And
nice job.
I was making 3 of them, but everything went crazy. I wound up setting it aside for a week while I tried to put my house back together after a leak. And anyway, but I want to show you, that was a wonderful demonstration, Dane. I wanted to show you a variation. I made some of these. I did not make this one. It looks like the kids got all the ones that I made. This is one that was made by Dennis Paulus out of Memphis. It's all made with a little burr on there, cut out and all hand carved. It's a nice little box. I made several of them copying this, kind of copying it, but it just gives you an idea how many different kinds of things you can do with the acorn. And I did make a lot of them, but if you make them, you won't have them long. When somebody comes by, they want to take them home.
Now, does that sit flat on a table, or does it not have a flat bottom?
No, it doesn't have. It just doesn't sit flat. It's just pointed on the bottom. It'll lay.
Gotcha.
On account of the things, it'll lay anywhere you put it without rolling off because it's got the knobs on it. But
Gotcha.
no, it doesn't. It won't stand up. I made some just like this. Mine weren't as fancy. He was a pretty good turner. He's a better turner than he is a personality. Oh, he made me mad. When we had the pandemic, I was with that club for almost 10 years. And when we had the pandemic and we started these Zoom meetings, I called them up and asked them if they were doing Zoom meetings. And when I left, I gave them a whole trailer load of tools and wood and everything to the club. I called him and asked him if they were having the Zoom meetings. He says, yeah, we're having them. I said, well, you can send me an invitation. He says, no. He says, it's only for paid members.
Wow.
I said, really? So I haven't spoke to him since.
Easy
I hold
to
a grudge
forget.
too long.
Mhm.
That ain't our club.
Yeah.
No, not this one.
Soon people forget.
Yep. Hey, Terry, I'm going to tell you something. You are starting. I mean, well, about, I would say, a year ago, you showed something about making threading. I am like, I keep trying and trying and trying. You inspired me a lot. I just wanted to tell you that. Now, do you remember
Yeah,
when you were
yeah, I
talking about?
remember. I went out and set the whole thing up to do a demonstration, and then we got ready to do it, and the internet wouldn't hold up. And
I'll tell you what.
I started it all up, and it threw us out. It threw me out like 4 times, and we had to cancel it.
I'll tell you what. It really inspired me. I'm trying and trying. That's a great thing. It's a great thing to learn.
Yeah.
Yep. We look forward to your success, Al.
Yeah, believe me, so am I.
Thanks, Matt. Let's go. Who else we got?
Okay. Thanks, Terry. Next up is Joaquin. Yep, you, Joaquin.
Gotcha.
What you got?
Hey, well, I got a project going on I want to share with y'all, but it starts out, I did this emerging bow. This is walnut several years back. And so, you know, you take and glue them together, 2 of them, 2 blocks. Like this one here was plywood and an old piece of mesquite. I finished this one. I ain't got around to finish this one. But I took a computer class last couple of weeks, doing a PowerPoint. My project, I had to make a PowerPoint. So I made a PowerPoint on the emerging bow. Can I share it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Let me get it started here. Is it going to start? What are we doing?
Send it to full screen or start the slideshow.
Yeah, click the projection screen down in the right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner. In your PowerPoint.
Hold on. No, click. Did it show up?
Yeah,
we see the PowerPoint, but you haven't started the slideshow.
Yeah, you press F5 to start it, and it's not doing it.
Well, maybe stop sharing, go into the app and hit F5 so it starts the slideshow, and then share the screen and share that again. See if that works.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Do it fast so we don't miss none of it, though.
Honey, I did this on my Zoom program, and it worked great.
Do the same thing, Joaquin.
I'm doing the same thing. So, all right.
Dan, you're always picking on him.
As long as he don't yell at
me.
Right? Let's see. All right. Oh, here we go, I think. Okay. The emerging bow. Y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay. So that was that walnut bow, and it starts out with a 3x3x6. And I use a 3-inch thickness because my table saw will cut 3 1/4. And so that's why I made them 3 inches thick. And so I glued the 2 blocks together with newspaper between them. I didn't want to wait around, so I left it all clamped up, and then I glued it to my waist block with newspaper between it, because you're going to separate all this stuff later. And so I was saving time by having it clamped, and then I glued it to my face plate. So there it is. Everything's glued together. It's all got newspaper between all the glue joints. And I need to take some of these pictures out. I'm showing some different angles here. And I'm telling you, that's why I use 3 inches, because my saw only cut 3 1/4. So now you want to do a half a sphere on there. And so it's a 6-inch square cube. And so I made a 5-inch sphere on the back of it. And that was 2 different pieces of wood. I think that was this walnut, and the other piece was hackberry. That was a piece of mesquite and ash. So you're going to separate them apart now. So you're going to have just a half a piece. And so you did center that, find the center of that, your sphere, and glue it onto a waste block with a support piece out there on the sphere. And it's glued on there with newspaper as well. Sometimes we use brown paper, but newspaper seems to be good for me. So now you want to, I think I made, I left a 3/8 inch wall. So yeah, I drew a center on there, 4 1/4. Has a drawing showing what we're going to do. So now the inside's turned out. Sometimes, you don't get it perfect, and you got to do a little bit of sanding on one wall or the other. Another view of it. And also another view. I need to get rid of some of these. The drawing showing what you're supposed to have. That was a view of the merging bow. I really had fun in this class playing with this stuff.
Yes, we can see.
I've never done PowerPoint. This was a senior class. It only cost me $5 to take the class.
Nice.
That's good. That's a good price.
Yeah, I couldn't resist doing something in wood turning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The end.
That's cool. Oh my goodness.
Good job, Joaquin.
I got a dumb question, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried, once you get the inside done, turning the very top of the outside of the bulb the same thickness as the rest of it? Am I making sense?
No, I don't exactly understand what you're saying.
Taking the top of the block that's left down about, I don't know, 3/8 to 1/2 an inch, so that you've got the round lip of the bowl sticking up above the block.
Oh yeah, that's what I did with this one here.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, I prefer to do it this way now.
Yeah.
This is the first one I ever done, and I was just lucky to get there,
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. And
Yeah,
I did I'll get it. This is as far I got is on the sphere.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it is hard to get this in here and then on the back side up against the cube.
I bet.
Yeah, I bet.
Get it looking good, but
Uh-huh.
see, it's out around. But I was happy for this this is my first one. Okay.
That would be.
Yeah.
It's going to stay that
Right.
way till I can perfect that. But anyway, thank you for letting me share, guys.
Yeah, you bet.
Cool.
Good
I'll see you in a
PowerPoint.
day or two.
Okay, you bet, Billy. 6:30 Thursday night.
Oh yeah. Looking
We're
forward
already
to it.
meeting up Thursday night.
There was talk about going to Ninfa's for dinner, I think.
Where?
A bunch of us. Ninfa's across the street.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Dan, that's all I have for gallery. There's nobody else on my list.
Oh my goodness, that's it, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're almost to the top of the hour anyhow. Tim, are you still bringing wood for the SWAT folks?
Yes, sir. I'm bringing, I got some mesquite, I got spalted pecan, some blue stained pine, some oak, and some red oak.
Nice.
So I'm basically gonna have a bit of my truck full.
I
First
can
come,
bring
first
some.
serve. I got a couple
I can bring
pieces
some
of
live oak.
spalted pecan for Billy already pulled aside.
I can bring some live oak if anybody wants it. I'm planning on bringing some wild pear if I have some that's not too wormy. It's going to be wormy, but I'm trying to get some that isn't too wormy, and I'll probably bring a couple of pieces of ash up as well.
I love wormy.
Arizona ash.
Hey,
So,
Tim.
so
Tim,
Billy, are you
sure.
saying? Billy, are
Tim.
you saying you turn cracked wood, and you're going to bring everybody some good wood?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm bringing them what? Well, my Arizona ash isn't so bad, I don't think, but the some of
I'm
the
just teasing. I'm just teasing.
some of my bugs got to my wild pear, but I'll bring some if somebody wants it. And my live oak, same.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll try
Tim.
to get some good
Howard, you
stuff.
got a question?
Tim,
Yes, sir.
where are you going to be parked, and what color's your truck?
It's a black Ford F-250. It's got a Worldwide Wood Turners decal about 5 inches wide, sitting in the left corner back window.
Where are you going to be parked?
Probably
Howard.
in that parking lot there and up by the convention center.
Where
Tim,
about
I
in
think
that?
Howard is looking to unload your truck without you knowing about it.
Hey, I'll put my telephone number there in the chat. That way you guys have it if you don't already have it. And
You gonna be there? That's what?
yeah, I'm gonna be there. at SWAT. I'll be there. Howard's en route.
Yeah, Howard's in
Gary.
Kilgore.
We're in Killen tonight.
Hey,
Yeah,
Walking.
Yeah.
We're in Kilgore.
Killen.
No, Kilgore.
Kilgore.
Kilgore. Okay.
And Jim
Kilgore.
Duxbury is in the next room next to us.
Okay.
Yep, that's what he told me.
Where are you staying? What room? What hotel you staying?
Well, Hampton Inn.
Oh, the Hampton. Okay.
Where are you going to be staying in Waco, Howard?
They're at the main hotel, the Hilton.
The Hilton?
The Marriott.
Marriott.
The Marriott. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll be at the
Marriott.
Marriott. We'll have coffee
We'll
together.
be there.
Uh,
Okay, good deal.
I'm looking forward to meeting Howard and Gary
yeah.
and other
Sure.
people that I haven't met.
Everybody else too.
There he is.
Well, I tell you one thing, going to be 2 Alabama boys there at the same time, so it's going to be rough.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I just saw Rita.
Yeah.
yeah, Rita and Jim.
Yeah, we're over here too.
Looking forward to seeing those two again for sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward. We got a whole truckload of stuff. Don't ask. I just need to know, do I need to bring my saw? That's the only question. Or is everybody capable of taking a large chunk home with them? Oh,
Yeah.
don't give
Yeah.
Rita any wood. Don't give Rita any wood. No.
I can take some.
Tim,
Well,
some of us old
just a
people
little.
can't handle big chunks of wood without our back going out.
Yeah, I'm tracking. I'll bring the saw and I'll bring a friggin' dustpan, a broom, and a bag. I got to pop smoke. In early morning tomorrow, doing some stuff around here before I can head out to Waco. So I will see everybody at SWAT. My number's up there in the chat. Write it down, take it down, whatever, and come on when you're all up there. I will be at Waco Midway Park, site number 20, with my RV. If anybody wants.
I think I've got your number already, Tim. Let me double check.
If you guys ain't got it, just reach out to me and I'll give it to you.
Oh yeah, I got him.
All right, night all.
All right, good night, Tim. Have fun.
And I heard from Tom Kenny a while ago. He's made it to Lake Charles, Louisiana. He's on his way.
Sounds like I'm missing a good time.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am, you will.
Nothing like it.
It's always a great time, isn't it, Joaquin?
Yeah, and you might go home with a new lathe. You never know.
Right. I keep not bringing my truck up, thinking I'll win one of them to make me drive down and get my pickup.
What?
Yeah, I had a friend that had no idea he was going to win it, and he did, and he had to go rent a U-Haul. Didn't take his truck up there. Yeah,
bad problem to have.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right.
All right. Well, all right, folks. We're at the top of the hour, so we just go ahead and call this the demarcation point of the official meeting. I'm going to keep it open for a little while longer tonight for our after hours session. So, for folks that want to drop off and don't feel like saying goodbye or don't want to say goodbye, now's your opportunity. Nobody will be upset. This is the normal occurrence on a Wednesday night. And for those of you that are dropping off and heading to SWAT or already at SWAT, y'all have fun. Look forward to seeing some pictures. Look forward to hearing the stories that you guys are going to have to share with us when you get back to the meeting. And y'all have a good time and be safe if you're still traveling.